Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nathan Aviezer. I'm a professor of physics here at Bar-Ilan University. As you can tell from my accent, I'm an American. I grew up in Detroit, went to Chicago to get my PhD, and I got my wife in the bargain, 2 for the price of 1. After receiving my PhD, I joined the research group of Professor John Bardeen. John Bardeen is the only person in history to have won 2 Nobel Prizes in physics. After working with Bardeen for a couple of years, I was invited by Leo Osaki to join his research group at IBM. Now, Professor Osaki wasn't as smart as Bardeen, because Osaki only won 1 Nobel Prize. Finally, in 1967, I made Aliyah with my family, my wife, and my children. I took a taxi from the airport and came straight to Bar-Ilan University, where I have remained for the last 42 years. And it's been a wonderful life, a richly rewarding life, and it's been very productive in the scientific area. Bar-Ilan has always provided me with the facilities to carry out my research. On the basis of my research, I have been honored by being elected as a fellow of the American Physical Society and a research professor of the Royal Society of London. Now, my first ever and my best ever PhD student was Moshe Kaveh, your president. Now, I'm sure all of you know what a great president he is, but I'm not sure all of you know what a great scientist he is. And Moshe Kaveh went on to become a professor of the Department of Physics, and he established a worldwide reputation for excellence in his research. Professor Kaveh has written nearly 300 scientific articles in the leading international journals. He is a visiting professor at the world-famous University of Cambridge, and he has a research program with Nobel Prize winners Sir Neville Mott and Sir Michael Pepper. Moshe has always, I have always viewed Moshe as my son, because the Talmud tells us that our students are like our children. Moshe's best research student was Richard Berkowitz, who also eventually became a professor of physics at Bar-Ilan University. Richard Berkowitz also has established himself as an internationally known scientist. He has authored nearly 150 scientific articles. So Richard Berkowitz is like my scientific grandson. Berkowitz has established a research program with Professor Daniel Tsui, Nobel Prize winner from Princeton University. Princeton, that's where Albert Einstein was a professor many years. Berkowitz's best PhD student is named Moshe Goldstein. So Goldstein is like a scientific great-grandson to me. Goldstein has already published 16 scientific articles in leading journals. There are scientists in their whole career, they hardly manage 16 articles, and he hasn't even received his PhD yet. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm not telling you all this to tell you what wonderful fellows we are, even though we are wonderful fellows. I am telling you all of this so you, our visitors, should know that you are associated with a university of which you can be proud. A university which has made its mark in the scientific landscape, a university which has an international reputation for excellence in science. You can be proud. Now, in addition to my scientific work, I have another interest. I have a long-standing interest in Torah and science. And Torah and science, as you've been hearing, is the main theme of Bar-Ilan University. I've written 2 books on the subject. First, I've written a book in the beginning. This book has been translated into 9 languages. So if you want to get a copy in Norwegian or in Portuguese, we can accommodate you. Then I've written a second book, Fossils and Faith, also translated into a number of languages. Bar-Ilan sponsors an annual conference on Torah and science, which attracts hundreds of participants from all over Israel. And finally, I teach a course in Torah and science. This is an elective course. No student has to take this course, and yet over 400 students register for this course every year. And they hear the message of Bar-Ilan University, that the Jew of the 21st century is not required to choose whether to accept modern science and live in modern society or to be faithful to a Torah tradition of thousands of years. It is not a question of Torah or science, it is a question of Torah and science. This is the message of Bar-Ilan University. This message is incorporated in the symbol of Bar-Ilan University. It is inscribed on our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. This is our message to our students and our message to the world. Torah and science, the message of Bar-Ilan University. Thank you.